The method to the madness today. Obviously, I saw I think 10 or 11 pitchers and a few outfielders and things like that.
Yeah, like I said, like I always say, always best available, but there do become times where there's the reality of the situation is that you have to be able to service the players, and that means finding them playing time. With the group that we have at the lower levels, and especially some of the international guys that are going to be coming over to the U.S. shortly, it was a matter of finding playing time and making sure that we can service these players in the best way so we could get the upside. It was going to be a crunch if we had to go in different directions on some of that. So I think that's why you saw that lean towards, the pitching and filling it out with some of the outfielders there as well.
Looked like Mason Neville fell to you guys. He was supposed to be a day one guy, and he went to you, and you guys obviously took him a few years ago in a later round. I'm guessing it was a draft and follow.
So it wasn't a draft and follow there. He was a guy that we identified that we liked out of high school, but had high expectations. And you always want to have an emergency plan in case of, worst case scenarios. If someone fails a physical or, if we don't end up signing someone near the top of the draft, that you have talented players that you can redistribute the money to. So that's what Mason was a couple of years ago, but we've liked him for a long time. And we're excited to be able to get him to lead off the day here. Obviously, he led the country in home runs. He's an athletic kid, can play all three outfield positions, and I've known him for a long time. I've been doing the work for a long time on him.
Hey, Joe, obviously I haven't done huge deep dives on these guys, just getting to know them, but it seems like a lot of kind of upside-oriented players. Even going back to yesterday, do you see it as kind of an upside class when you look at some of these guys?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're always looking to capture that upside in the draft, knowing where we're positioned as a team and, in our marketplace. We have to find that value in the upside in the draft or in the international market and then develop it because we can't go get those guys at the big league level that we understand are the best players in the game. So trying to grab some of the upside here in the draft and get them to the big leagues where they can make an impact for us is always key.
You took a couple of guys that looked like I'm going to look for their names right now. I'm sorry. That maybe had Tommy John surgery. One guy was having Tommy John. He was only had like 3 or 4 starts this year, and you had a guy that was coming off of it from last year. Is that right?
A couple of them, yeah. Osbolt and Henschel, back-to-back sixth and seventh rounds are both guys that, unfortunately for them, had Tommy John this spring. And unfortunately, there were a lot of those guys in this draft that were talented players that slotted relatively high, but because